David Williams. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube /WGLNA. Guys, if you aren't watching this on BattleViewer.com, go over there right now and check it out. And finally, thanks for following us on Twitter and staying up to date on what's happening in the community around you.
And hopefully, thank you for asking or answering our question of the day, which is who do you think will go to the finals?
That is right.
Obviously, High Voltage just took one of the slots,
Woo!
and with it, secured at very least $40,000 for their team.
40 grand. So congratulations to them. And now, our fourth battle of the night is going to be Refuse versus 07. The bracket is ready. Let's pull that up, guys, so we can kind of see how tonight has been developing. Up first, it was Elevate versus Simp. Elevate took that victory, followed by Noble versus 07. Noble picked that one up. Third, what you guys just saw, High Voltage versus Elevate. High Voltage secured that spot into the finals. And now, Noble versus Refuse to see who will be the second team to make it into the finals. And again, like you said, second place team securing at least $40,000. On the side of Noble, we've got Comps again. On the side of Refuse, we've got Cool Hammer. Now, David, looking at kind of both of these teams going into maps, the tiebreaker is mine. So we didn't get to see it on the last battle. I was excited to see High Voltage possibly going there. I did think they would slightly get the advantage. Well, maybe we'll see it next. But up first, the face-off is ready. Again, Comps from Noble. We've got Cool Hammer from Refuse. Gentlemen, welcome to the face-off.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey.
Nothing much at all. Comps, congratulations on that first victory and now making it to this match number 4 of the playoff season. We can't see your face, but we can hear your beautiful voice. The first question I'm going to ask you, how well did that first match go according to your guys' expectations?
Well, we went in there knowing that it was a relatively easy match, but we decided to throw for some entertainment value.
Oh, great. Thanks, guys.
And,
I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it. That's good.
Yeah, but now we're warmed up and ready to get down to business. So.
All right, well, I guess that kind of answers our next question. I was going to ask, do you feel that those matches made you more ready to face Refuse?
Yep. Well, I mean, we're warmed up, right? They've been sitting, watching patiently all night, so I think we have that down. So, yeah, it should be fun.
Well, let's see if that is the advantage that you guys need. Cool Hammer, now over to you. Looking back, as you guys have been kind of just sitting back, so I have no questions to ask you for the first match you guys have played. But what has been your biggest challenge so far this season?
This season so far, the big challenge is to learn weak spots of tanks. With the HD models coming, some stuff changed, and some of our players aren't being able to pen tanks. So yeah, we need to go back to the basics and learn the game again on some things.
All right. Well, I mean, I know World of Tanks is a fantastic training room. You guys can load up at any time, kind of run through that to get those basics down. They have a nice guy who talked you through it, too, as well, so go and check that one out.
All right, Cool Hammer, who would you say that your team MVP is?
I don't know, like, tonight is Baxter's birthday, so I don't know if I have to be nice and tell it's him.
Yeah,
But I think it should be Sublime Banana, the center of our morale. Yep.
All right, well, that's great. The center of your morale, your MVP on the team. A fantastic answer there. Before we get started, Comps, do you have anything to say to Cool Hammer before our fourth and final match of the playoff?
Good luck and have fun.
All right, Cool Hammer, your response?
Same thing. Good
All
luck.
right, gentlemen, best of luck to both of you guys. We'll see you guys extremely shortly.
All right, before we continue, I got to say, I'm still not entirely sure if the Sublime Banana thing is them trolling us or not, because I know them well enough, and every time they say it, they laugh or they smirk. And I've played games with them, and the whole time they're like, Sublime Banana, the center of our team. I'm like, I swear you guys are messing with me.
I mean, that's
but
a
I
very
can't
elaborate
prove it.
scheme. Yeah, that's an elaborate scheme, so congratulations if you guys are pulling that over. Keep it going.
Like I said, people love to troll me because they know me well. So overall, I mean, I guess they've been struggling with their penetration shots. Last time I really looked into their statistics was about halfway through the season, and they had the highest out of anybody.
Okay.
So
maybe
either
that's
again they're kind
struggling?
of joking, or there's a good chance. I haven't checked them recently, player to player, that is.
Okay.
So there's a good chance they are faltering a little bit there, but I don't know. They have some of the highest player talent. So while we're talking about it, why don't we check out those rosters?
That's a great time to pull these up. Now on the side, you got Refuse and Noble coming back for the second battle of the night. David, some of the highlight teams from both of these guys.
Rude Awakening calls while playing, and that's always hard. Cool Hammer is the team captain and plays well at the same time. But E63, M6, and KT are the star players of the team. They're both phenomenal. E63, M6, is potentially
So
the best player in the
consistent.
league.
So
He's just so ridiculous. His positioning is almost irrelevant to me because he's 5100 a lot of the time.
Okay.
But his penetration rates and his damage is just
Off the charts.
absurd. Meanwhile, for Noble, it's again kind of getting back to the people we were talking about before. A lot of the time, it's militant Canadian Impact. Impact really showing up in the last set.
Absolutely. So let's see if he can show up again. As ladies and gentlemen, this is the battle that is going to determine who our second team to make it into the finals will be. Will it be Refuse? Will it be Noble? We're going to find out right now. It started on to Ruenberg. Refuse is on offense. Noble on the defense. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Refuse Gaming with 3 IS-3s, 2 T-54 lightweights, an LTTB, and a WZ-131 on offense. On defense, Noble, the 5100, 4 IS-3s, an LTTB, and a WZ-131 of their own.
Wow. Now, these WZ-131s, David, kind of walk me through some of their strengths, their weaknesses, where we think we're going to be seeing them in this battle.
They're essentially better brawlers than the LTTB, but they're not better scouts. So it just depends. It depends on what you want. I kind of like, I like the variety. I think LTTBs are great tanks, and I would like to have one in a lot of strategies. But I think once you start getting two, you're into diminishing returns. And switching it up is a great strategy. I've seen a number of teams bring like one LTTB and a T-29 or a Tiger 1 or something. I like that a lot. But the WZ-131 is definitely nothing to scoff at. And KT getting lit up right off the bat. 740 walking into an immediate crossfire from Noble.
All right, already damage there coming out there for the side of Noble. And now memory leak in that LTV. Looks like he's going to go start putting that cap pressure on. Not a very standard start that we see coming out of Refuse Gaming. The Delta Village, though, wasn't in too much control of Noble there. A lot of the members have been sitting back. Marsh and Germ now coming around. Looks like they might be going for a very long flank. A Rude Awakening joining memory leak, putting 2 members on cap there. The shots going out onto Akula in that IS-3. Coolhammer taking a little bit in return, but definitely a lot more going on the side of Noble there. 83 seconds on the cap. X-Holder taking some shots onto KT. More damage going across. Crossfire onto this Delta Village. Canadian Impact taking some response as well. Refuse Gaming is down. HP against Noble, almost 1,000 here. And here comes response. T-54s, WZ-131s, an LTTV going. They found Dodo. They're going to try to find this overmatch, shutting down this 5100. Let's see how much they can do. Noble, will they have enough to respond here? Drogon having to back up. He takes another shot. Damage from Canadian Impact. One more, and he will go down. Dodo looking to pick it up, but from the back, he shoots E63. Rude Awakening there. Gonna fight it. No, E63 picking up Dodo. Canadian Impact finding KT. A 1-for-1 exchange here going after both these teams. But Akula found memory leak. Drogon is extremely low. 6 members remaining from the side of Noble against now just the 4 for Refuse Gaming. Marsh picks up Coolhammer. E63, another kill, picking up Akula. The fight for Delta Village is commencing, but now Marsh and Germ have made it from that city flank, and they should be able to find the overmatches here where they can. So Blind Banana is caught out here. He now has Germ, Milton, and Marsh to deal with. Canadian Impact should be going down. No, Marsh shuts down Drogon before he can find the shot. A beautiful shot there coming out from that WZ-131, and now Rude Awakening trying to do his best to stay alive. He is on offense, though, so it's not going to help him at all. Germ picking up Sublime Banana, and the first battle of our 4th match of the night to determine who our second team to make it into finals will be is going to go to Noble there. Milton picking up that final kill. A victory coming out there and having still 4 tanks remain. A nice victory to have had indeed. Now, looking at kind of what we saw there, kind of that opening move, again, nothing really new coming out from Refuse Gaming, just a very standard push.
No, in fact, Refuse making a critical error in that instance. They have driven down the F-road on offense too many times.
Okay.
And Noble was lying in wait. They lit up KT for the crossing.
Yeah.
And that's a huge problem just on its own, being a little bit too consistent. However, that is a feeler match in a lot of ways.
Okay.
And it could be what Refuse needed to kind of change up and get a good read on Noble and try and keep them guessing from here on out. But I don't know for sure. Refuse has been kind of taking it easy for the later half of the season after they secured their spot. And they may have relaxed a little bit too much because Noble has been putting their nose to the grindstone and coming back a lot stronger in the later half.
Yeah.
And they may have been underestimating them overall. In fact, many of us may have been underestimating Noble overall. Canadian Impact, what did I say?
He's
Top
the man.
in damage, 1921, followed by Militant with 1524.
Wow.
And Marsh's shot, that cleanup shot he had when he drove it.
So good.
I don't know about good. I think he's lucky. You can win
that was
$1,000
skill.
easy
That
going
was
to Las
skill.
Vegas with that one. You don't hit a shot on full move like
If
that
you're Marsh, you
without a
do.
little bit of luck.
You
Come on now.
don't need luck, Marsh.
We'll see. Anyways, just a lot of positional failures from Refuse, a lot of great movement from Noble, collapsing on a lot of different things and getting the early shots in, and Refuse looking a little bit rusty, honestly.
Yeah, well, and also kind of another thing to point out here, it didn't go so well for Elevate, obviously in that second match, but they were going toe-to-toe for a long time. I mean, they tied it up on Hills over the first match. And I was just talking about the exhaustion factor that sets in, so I'll be interested to see if Noble, maybe is still on that hype of winning that first battle, or if that'll fade off, and Refuse can take advantage of that, or maybe Noble, like we were saying, might be able to take this one.
Noble's definitely a team that likes a warm-up. And
All right.
honestly, I would like a warm-up as well if I were in their position, but we can get to the battle, and we'll talk about that here in a second.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, same size as last time. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
For Refuse Gaming, still on offense, 3 IS-3s, 2 T-54 lightweights, an LTTB, and a WZ-131. Noble, 5100, 4 IS-3s, an LTTB, WZ-131. So, more hit points for Noble from the defensive side. That's no surprise. It's not a bad idea whatsoever. It's going to come down to a little bit of a different approach for Refuse and getting a better presence in that actual fight, because their last fight was just no bueno.
Yeah. Now, see, obviously they have switched it up here. They're not pushing as many members on that F-Road as they did last time, so a good change-up coming out for Gaming Day. Like you said, maybe just look for that first match as a sort of feeler match, as to kind of see where Noble's at, what type of game they've been playing. Now, David, if you Refuse Gaming, were you watching the first match that Noble was playing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've been watching all the matches tonight.
So now, is there an inherent advantage that comes out of that, or doesn't really matter?
There is an advantage if the
Okay.
maps are the same, and if you can kind of get a read on what Noble is doing. And it's nice to always keep fresh on your opponent. Always watch them in the playoffs. The only team, or the only match that Refuse didn't have to watch tonight, and they'd actually be better off spending some time in training rooms working on things or warming up on their own in nice little 3v3s and the like, would have been the last one. It would have been unfortunate for them to miss it because it was a great one, but it was irrelevant to them.
Sure.
They should have
For what
watched
they
Noble
needed.
and spend the rest of their time getting prepared. They can always come back and watch those matches later if they even have a chance to play.
Absolutely, yeah. That's assuming that they will make it to
That
the
last
final.
match, I gotta say, Dodoma lasted way too long in this spot
Really?
right here, and it made all the difference. If he had just died
Let's go over to
quickly,
that.
then Refuse would have been in business. But Dodoma basically shut down their zero line push all by himself. He didn't kill him, but he did enough damage to just completely stuff it right as they tried to come in and find an entrance.
Memory League taking 612 points of damage there in that LTTB from the city. Already a lot of damage going to Refuse, and Germ picking up that LTTB. A tank already falling now for the side of Refuse Gaming. Noble might be able to do this again and pick up 2 victories on defense. Let's see if they can keep going. Germ now taking some sort of response. Not much of Rude Awakening still on cap. Looks like KT and Rude Awakening looking for X-Soldier on that IS-3. Rogon down there in that K0 area. An area we've seen used a lot this season. Now KT being lit up there from Akula and Canadian Impact. The Delta Village is in control of Noble. More shots than IS-3, and KT just can't find a break. More damage going on to Sublime Banana, and left and right Refuse Gaming is falling apart to the team of Noble. Dodo picking up KT. He goes down again. Germ looking for that an essential reset shot onto Rude Awakening to stall this game out and to really just continue the victory that they have. Refuse, Canadian Impact finding Sublime Banana. More tanks falling for Refuse. This is not looking good at all. Rude Awakening now just gonna collapse on, and Noble is gonna clean up another victory here onto Ruinberg. Drogon is gonna find X-Soldier, but Dodo, actually he is on the reload. He's still, he's still got about 10 more seconds left. He's gonna try to stall for as much time as possible. Meanwhile, over in the city, like Marsh Durham, just making sure EC3 and Coolhammer can't move to back up Drogon in any sort of way. Once Dodo is reloaded, this Deep D4 is going down. There it is, a 5100, cleaning that one up very, very easily. Just Coolhammer and E63 remain for the side of Refuse Gaming. David Noble's gonna pick up another victory onto defense.
Yeah, that is a fact. Now Refuse Gaming has to defend twice successfully themselves to tie it up, and they're still doing business. It's very easy to look at this match and see some terrible trends developing, but it doesn't mean it's over yet.
Sure.
The only thing I can point out very clearly is Refuse is playing terrible compared to what they usually do. And I don't know if that's playoffs getting to them
Okay.
and their nerves just keeping them rattled, or what is going on? Because this is not. I would have always said all season long, past the first couple games, I would have said Refuse has the highest player count in the league. But
Wow.
I don't know. From what I'm seeing right now, Noble's always had incredible player talent. On par, maybe slightly less than maybe High Voltage. They're one of the highest top 4, top 3 teams in the league in terms of player talent. But over Refuse this badly, I never would have seen it until today.
All right, well, let's see if Noble can continue just surprising us and taking Refuse Gaming down. E63 taking shots from both sides, both from Germ here and from Marsh in that WZ-131. He's decided to fight Marsh. Takes a shot, 235 points of damage. This is going to let Germ come around the side. Now Marsh, a good response there. He's turning his turret here. Middleton actually in the IS3, going to pick this one up. And Noble claiming a second victory, one step closer to $75,000 to making it to the final. See if Refuse Gaming can turn it on and turn on quickly, because if this continues as it's going, Noble will clean this one up very relatively quickly. They were on defense, but still, they didn't really. It didn't come down to Refuse, waiting for the time and then timing out. I mean, Noble just clearly with these victories here. First with 4, next with 5. Something good in stats.
I'm just congratulating myself over here extremely smugly, because Dodoma, 2012 damage, Canadian Impact, 1888, and who's next? Militant, 1813. Told you.
You
These
called
guys,
it. You
these
called it.
guys, they're the ones who are consistent. And while
Yeah.
other people may get the points, Akula and some of the other people, they may get the points sometimes.
The flashy plays.
But when it really comes down to it and everything is terrifying and you find out who keeps it together the best, who plays the best, I expected it to be these 3, and so far they are holding it together. Now, one thing we should already start talking about right now is what the next map will be.
Let's do it.
Because one way or another,
we're
going to see it.
That's right.
And it's going to be Mines, with Noble attacking first. So, this can actually switch the other way around. If Refuse wins the next 2 battles on defense, they then defend on Mines. And they can win the first 2 defenses on Mines, and then they're up 2-0. Well, not 2-0, but 4-2.
Right, up 2 battles.
So this can flip-flop back and forth, and this match is far from over.
Sure.
Keep in mind, that was just Noble on defense. And Noble is great on defense on most maps. And Refuse, I honestly would have said they're great on offense most of the time, better than they are on defense. But who knows? They could pull it back out.
Yeah.
Maybe they dust off whatever's been happening. But either way, we've already seen one team come back. 4 matches in a row, pretty much.
That's true. Yeah, you can't really count anything out here after you saw. If you guys watched the first match of the night, Elevate versus Simp. But that is in the past. Right now for the President is Refuse versus Noble. We switch sides. Refuse is on defense. Noble on offense. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Refuse Gaming, like you said, on offense with a 5100, 3 IS3s, a T54 lightweight, and 2 LTTPs. Noble with 3 IS3s, 2 T54 lightweights, an AMX 1390, and an MT25. Now, great choice putting Dodoma on the AMX 1390. I know for a fact that he's been trained in it, and that he should know how to play it. And he's one of the best players in the league, technically, in the autoloader tanks. He was the best player of last season statistically. He's generally been a great player. His struggle, for me, very frequently, has been finding the right position to be in, making the right calls, sometimes keeping cool. But throughout this, he's been all over it.
Sure.
Every single time, both matches in a row, he's been bullying that 0 line, putting up nearly top damage, if not top damage, and being a critical component in what makes them win. So he is going to have to do very well in the AMX 1390 to help Noble stay into this fight. Rude Awakening getting a nice cheeky early spot on both Dodoma and Akula, and he's going to try and slip out, or we should have tried to slip out, but he's going to stay where he is and hope the Noble knows better than to come try and head-to-head him, because they... Well, actually, honestly, he's probably hoping they come after him because they are lying in wait if they try. And Akula's probably just going to slip up a little bit further and use this nice little hill spot right here. Nice little cover. Get some shots into the village. And this is one of those things I wish was there when I played Ruinberg, because let me tell you, it was more difficult to assault from the south back then. In fact, most beams just camped, but I'm not going to get into that because this is intense. This is Noble trying to expand their lead. They have to win on offense to get that advantage.
That's right. Here we go. 27 seconds is on the cap. Marsh and Canadian Impact are the ones to build that one up. Marsh actually abandoning that in that MT25, leaving just the IS-3 to maintain that cap pressure. Rude Awakening now being joined by E63 in his T54. Actually, Canadian abandoning the cap as well. Noble not just just not wanting to go for that in the sense maybe they feel like there's a better thing to do, or maybe they feel right now they're just not in a good position as Akula is cut out here. There is nowhere he can go. He can just do as much damage as he possibly can. And over in the city, a fight happening between Memory League and Militant, being joined by Marsh here. Rude Awakening does beat Akula. Militant picks up Memory League. It is a 1-for-1 exchange, and now we have Refuse Gaming pushing extremely aggressively into the city. Now, Dave, if you were Noble in this situation, would you just now rush and flex and go to the northern cap?
That is a possibility. You could put on some cap pressure and use this F road in order to divide them down the middle so they can't come across very easily. It looks like that is exactly what Noble's going to do because Canadian Impact is entirely isolated. Refuse Gaming is going to pick that one up, and they have to bully through the F line to stay back in this fight, but they really need to get somebody to get back there on cap to make sure the resets happen, and Noble can't take this one too.
A 1-for-1 exchange out going out again. More damage going across at Drogon as he tries to cross in that 5100. Coolhammer joined beside him. 3 tanks being stacked up by Noble for the northern cap. They know that this is probably their best chance of taking it, but Drogon Pro should be able to get there. Looks like wisely, they are actually backing off. They do not want to fight this. They I guess, are hoping they can find just a better matchup somewhere else. Drogon wisely pumping the brakes there, coming on the side. Marsh taking a shot there onto that 5100, nothing connecting, and they've backed even further into the city. Meanwhile, X-Soldier in his IS-3 is one more shot away, facing off against Sublime Banana and KT. Now, David, if you're in the situation right now, KT and Sublime Banana, more damage actually going across there, chunking Marsh now, the MT-25. Got to be extremely careful. Actually, Militant behind enemy line. Sublime Banana picking up X-Soldier, and now Rude Awakening going to ram Marsh. 2 tanks falling down for the side of Noble. Refuse Gaming looks like they're turning it back on as Coolhammer picks up Militant. Dodo in that 1390 now is all by himself against 3 members. Well, now actually all 5, since Sublime Banana picked up Germ. Refuse Gaming is going to pick up their first victory on defense of the night. Once Dodo does fall, Rude Awakening shot just barely missing. Now going against Drogon Pro, we're going to have a little bit of a ramp there, and Drogon bullying Dodo out in that 1390. Refuse picking up that victory, making it now 1-2. Like you said, on defense, this could switch extremely quickly. One more victory, they tied it up, and like you said, going into mines, they're going to be on defense again. But kind of looking at that situation we got there, where did that kind of fall the hardest for Noble?
Well, they lost. Actually, no, they didn't lose anybody in that position. When they left the cap, it's a questionable thing because 54 an MT-25 and a 1390 versus an IS-3 and a 5100 probably shouldn't win. But the 5100 only had 3 shells. Now, I'm not sure they kept track of that very well.
Gotcha.
And they could have focused it down and then maybe pulled away. Or there's a number of different ways to play it, honestly. Once the clip expires, the 5100 put the MT-25 on them. Like I said, lots of ways to play it.
Sure.
I think they should have pushed somebody through to A6 to make any approach to that cap more painful for them. Perhaps the 1390, because he gets some very good shots and he can clip over, or he can repeatedly fire, or the 54, because he can be hauled down. But either way, anybody. Yeah, like I said, there's always tons of answers to every single situation there. But overall, Drogon Pro doing the vast majority of the damage on his team with 1928, and Germ carrying his team largely with 1726, and Dodemo with 1436. They had some struggling issues with Canadian Impact's position. He got largely melted very early. Yeah, he wasn't able to really stay in the fight. And the only real problem for Refuse in that situation was Memory Leak.
Okay.
I've had a very critical eye on Memory League all season long. I pointed it out a couple times. As he tends to kind of crack under stress, and he kind of finds himself in questionable positions for a scout. Okay. Like I said, I have very high standards for a scout.
You look at
very high standards. And all I can say to be nice is he's no angry guy.
All right. Well, that's a nice enough thing to say. Ladies and gentlemen, we're into our 4th match. It's now into the final map onto Ruinberg for these playoffs. Let's see if Refuse Gaming can tie it up 2-2, or if Noble can get a nice 3-1 victory before we go into mines. Let's get right into it, David, and take a look at what we've got for our tank.
Refuse on defense with a 5100 3 IS-3s, a 54 lightweight, and 2 LTTBs. Noble, 3 IS-3s, 1390, 2 T54 lightweights, and MT-25. So, we see something very similar to what we saw last time. Perhaps Memory Leak can redeem himself from what happened last time in a very dubious and awful position, honestly. Now, maybe it's not his fault. Perhaps I'm picking on him a little bit too much. Could have been Rude Awakening to send him there. Could have been a large number of people, but it's just, when it's your job, it's your responsibility in a lot of ways. If the caller tells you to do something, I don't know, it just depends. You got to do it with a little bit more tact than that. Marsh getting shot by Rude Awakening to start this off. Rude Awakening doing the same thing he did last time, although he will miss those intro scouts, or those initial scouts on Akula and Dodoma, which could give them a little bit more room to actually come up and over and take him out, because the big problem is if they're lit going in, they'll take damage very accurately. If they are only lit right when they show up, and Dodoma is already lit, and he is in the open, and he's going to take 480 right off the bat.
Lots of going through 840 in that 1390. One more shot, and he will go down. Drogon Pro picking that one up. Rude Awakening might go down himself. No, he actually finds the safety. Akula doing his best to try to find this T-54 just sitting, or the LTTB just sitting in the back. Rude Awakening doing a good job staying alive there. 5 minutes and 44 seconds on the clock, and a tank already down for the side of Noble. Refuse Gaming might be able to do it again over in the city. We have an LTTB against an IS-3. Let's see who's going to win. X-Soldier is up on top. He now has to come down, taking the shot of Memory League. 428 points of damage there. Milton, though, is extremely low in that T-54. Memory on the run. He knows one more shot, and he will go down. The question is, will he be able to find some damage before he goes down? So, no! He misses a shot, and X-Soldier picks that one up. It is now 6 tanks on the side of Noble against 6 for Refuse Gaming. That shot right there by X-Soldier just tied it up. 5 minutes and 8 seconds into the battle.
That one right there was not Memory League's fault whatsoever. In fact, what he was doing was pretty great. You come down the F line, and you could start exploiting your DPM to hit X-Soldier where he is. Now, you can take one on the chin from X-Soldier and still keep shooting him, and that's going to be valuable. And then you play the corner game where he has to poke out to hit you. And as long as the people in the village hit their shots, you can pretty much kill an IS-3 for it. People in the village didn't hit their shots. Memory League went down, not for nothing.
Wow.
But not for as much as he could have. So I'm gonna apologize on that one. It was not his fault whatsoever. However, Refuse still in position to possibly pull this out. They did pick up Dodoma for a huge kill to start this off, but I haven't really seen him continuously exploit that advantage. Perhaps being counter-aggressive in that situation. Might have placed a lot of eggs in the basket of picking up X-Soldier and then failing on it. Did not surprise me whatsoever. That's a situation that I could easily see any battle caller finding themselves in, because X-Soldier should be dead right now.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's well then, man, he's alive. Good thing for Noble indeed. Now, Canadian Impact position, we've seen before in this IS-3, making sure no one can push from the north, but where Refuse Gaming is, all in Delta Village. I mean, his positioning really isn't. I mean, is it still useful?
It is. Are you talking about X-Soldier?
Canadian Impact.
Oh, Canadian Impact, absolutely. His position is always useful. It's a little bit negated now by where Noble goes, but it still controls a certain amount of vision that lets X-Soldier move up, should X-Soldier choose to move up, and then Canadian Impact could come out, and then Canadian Impact continue contributing to the battle. However, it's still not necessarily just out of the fight as he is. He could turn around, and then he's still in pretty good position to fight. It's with the rear of his tank hanging out here that he's a problem.
That's it. Okay. E63, 481 points of damage there from Milton. Milton doing a great job finding just little shots where he can and actually finding kills. E63 going down there to that T-54. 50 seconds now on cap. Marsh applying that pressure in his MT-25. Sublime Banana, Coolhammer, Drogon, and KT are the only ones alive for Refuse Gaming. They do have control of Delta Village, but they're against 6 tanks of Noble. It's not looking super good for them. Now, David, if you're Noble, would you just push right now? Would you take your forces and attack the Delta Village, or
no? They're not in position to really do that whatsoever. X-Soldier's about to die. Militant is doing well.
Cap that.
77 hit points. And they have to get the reset on the MT-25 or this game is going to be over.
That's right. Marsh joining in. There it is. The reset coming through from Sublime Banana. 401 points of damage. He actually is on the retreat, but Drogon's going to pick it up. X-Soldier finds Sublime. Cool. Picking up X-Soldier. So that is a 2-for-1 in favor of Refuse Gaming. But Akula finding Drogon will take it now. A 2-for-2 just for a moment there. I thought Refuse might be able to turn it around, and they still technically might. They are on defense. They just installed this game out for 2 minutes. And they'll be able to claim the victory, but it looks like Jerem and Akula are going to make sure that just does not happen. KT taking more damage in that IS-3 from Canadian Impact there. Another shot coming from Akula on the run. Jerem finding just the angles that he can in his IS-3. Looking up, looks like they're aiming at Coolhammer now. No, KT's going to be another focus. This guy just cannot get a break for these past 3 matches. He has just been the center of focus for Noble when it comes to it. One more shot, and he will go down there. Well, it looks like it might be Akula. No, Canadian Impact should have a shot before, but it doesn't matter because that IS-3 is good is gone. It is Canadian Pack gonna pick that one up, and now Cool Hammer will be going down just 408 points of damage. Noble is gonna pick up their third victory here onto Ruinberg against Refuse, and it looks like you said, David, Refuse just not playing to the level we've been seeing. We're now gonna go into Mines, and they just can't hold for 2. They need to hold for 2 and then win 2. This is not looking good for Refuse Gaming, and this is looking great for Noble. Noble has shown up the first match, and now for this final match here. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Refuse just not getting it done. Right there, that falter they had on the cap. Drogon Pro driving out there and dying in 5100. They needed him. He was the only thing that was keeping Noble back, because Noble still had an edge into the fight, but 15100 could take that away very quickly, putting down a number of tanks almost
Once it's gone,
it's gone. Drogon drove out. Not only did he die quickly, he shot the MT-25 instead of the IS-3. Now, the IS-3 probably didn't have the best shots on him or whatever, and he took what he can get. I don't know. All I know for certain is that was bad cap communication.
Gotcha.
So it's a situation where people are on cap, and somebody has to claim responsibility for it.
Okay.
I'm going to get the reset, or I'm going to do this. And it wasn't Drogon that got the reset from what I saw. We can double-check that. And he got 6 overall defensive points. I believe it was Cool Hammer who got the actual shot. No. It was KT. Sorry, KT was on the corner with 41. That was the cap was getting pretty low.
He
41
was
points
one,
was
final
it,
reset.
and it wasn't a particularly high. Reset was probably the IS-3 that he shot. Anyways, it didn't.
Just not.
It was pointless, is what it was. It's just an over-response,
Drogon's death.
overreaction to what happened. If they had stayed cool and talked it out, it would have been no big deal, and they possibly could have brought that home. But as it is, Noble closing in, and Refuse has to win 3 out of 4 to even stay in it.
Right, to tie it up. I mean, again, Noble, they're going to be on offense, but again, once they switch to defense, they just need to hold 2, and that is their 5 victories. Now, David, looking, kind of going into Mines, what we've seen over the season, also, I guess, what we've just seen today. I mean, I'm going to give the slight advantage to Noble on this map, but what would you say?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, it's my job to know, but I don't. Noble's playing much better than they have before. However, they did already have matches where they kind of maybe showed what they might be up to.
True. This is
Refuse has traditionally been very good at Mines, and if they just bully middle and they win all those fights and they bring their player skill back, they should take it.
All right.
But, I don't know.
Hey.
It's not the Refuse we've been watching for the most part.
That's true. Time knows, though, because we are now into the next battle. It's going to be on to Mines. Refuse Gaming versus Noble. I've been saying Noble starting on defense, Refuse on offense, actually. We've actually been switching it up. So let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for takes, because now Noble just needs to win 2, and they've got it.
Refuse Gaming on offense with 2 IS-3s, 3 T-54 lightweights, an LTTB, and a WZ-131. Noble with 3 IS-3s, 2 Object 416s, and T-54 lightweight and T-37. What has caused this? Either they're all just spying each other's strategies, or they've been practicing them, because it seems absurd to me to switch up during playoffs and just go, oh yeah, I like those 416s, let's give it a shot. Because it's like, what? That's such a risk. If people don't know how to play the 416 or they don't know how to play those positions specifically, you have to get some practice in on something before you try here. No team just comes in and just calls and just expects their players to play well.
No, but
it just can't be done. Not really. There's too many details to each map, too many little things you have to learn the hard way to perform well. And Noble's running the same strategy. I feel like this is a mistake. They can make it work, but there's no trap here. It's what Simp did. It's what 07 did. And it's not like Cool Hammer and Rude Awakening aren't immediately just running checks. Okay, let's see if the 416 is here. Let's see if the other 416 is here. Okay, we have an answer because we've been paying attention today. Got it? I just don't. It seems crazy to me, but it could work. It's worked already.
It's worked already. Again, I think start from miscommunication. Noble is starting on defense here on to Mine. So, I mean, Refuse Gaming really needs to get these victories on offense, because if Noble just picked up the 2, that's their victory. That's their guaranteed spot into the finals. So it is up to Refuse right now to really show up and shut Noble down, because they're on a winning streak. 5 minutes and 30 seconds in. The Object 416, Dodo driving one of them. He's in the classic position that we've seen so far today. The other one is Kula. The other Object 416, it's Germ. And the other one, Dodo, taking 241 points of damage there from Rude Awakening, and that WZ 131. And now, Dave, like you were saying, it's just not something you would do. What's going on?
They're pushing the 8-9. It's like they haven't been watching today. I
Maybe they
can't be
haven't.
nice about this.
Maybe
This is suicidal. You've already seen this is exactly what the strat is geared
Oh,
for.
no.
It's not like
Oh,
it's anything
no.
special. Either they got in their own heads and they expected the 416s to be different, or they got a whole different plan where they're going to cut short, but they're not. They're driving straight into the trap, and this could be, whoa, 1 416's out of position. It may not be as bad as I thought.
That's 3 finding Marshall. Let's see if they can find the rest of these. So KT getting absolutely lit up. Over 1,100 points of damage there in that T-54. One more shot, he will go down. But David, like you pointed out, Germ in that 416 is by himself. There is not another one coming in. The Ram going through with the damage. Memory Leak, though, is extremely low. He is committing so much for this, and his shot misses. Drogon does find a shot, and Germ picks up Memory Leak. He is now turning his attention to Drogon. He did find the tank they needed, so it looks like it might be able to be a victory for Noble if this continues to go in their favor here on the, as this battle goes on between. The shot again going out onto Germ. We've got Drogon just barely trying to stay alive, finally lining the shot up, as well as Coolhammer picking up X-Soldier there. Canadian Impact running. It is now a 4-on-5 in favor of Refuse Gaming, but the HP is in favor of Noble. This still is anybody's game. Let's see how this evolves as Milton taking some shots on the ECG3. The shots going back, none of them connecting. Sublime Banana popping off his shot onto Akula. And his IS-3 taking a little bit in response there, just missing the shot from Dodo. And now we've got Rude Awakening in the WZ-131 going head-to-head against Dodo in that Object 416. Let's see who's going to come out on top there. It looks like right now Sublime Banana is taking some more damage from the back. Dodo pushing Rude Awakening through. Let's see, it looks like one more shot and Dodo should go down. Sublime Banana will be safe up on top of the hill as well to let those shots rain out. Refuse Gaming will pick up a victory on offense on the Mines, a much-needed victory as well.
Oh, much needed doesn't even begin to cover it. This was do or die. They have to get this one. They can only afford one loss, so you don't want to make it the next 3.
Sure.
You want that down the road.
Sure.
We can still lose one. We can still lose one.
Woo.
So that one was close. So much player error in that match.
Huh.
I don't even know where to begin.
Don't even
I
know.
won't. I'm going to be nice to him because,
Do it.
like I said, it just...
Because it's the playoffs.
No, it's the playoffs. I'm supposed to be meaner. At least I
Oh.
think I should be meaner.
Okay.
I don't know. Drogon Pro.
We have any stats to go to, or just
Yeah, let's do it.
let's go to stats. Playoff stats. Don't riot.
Drogon Pro. Being pro, more pro than KT today, which is surprising.
Yeah, KT.
And 10 penetrations for 2698. Only one of those shots that he had on the Object 416 bounced, and that's going to happen. Like I've
Okay.
said before, the 416 is troll armor. It's not fun to fight.
Right.
Because that happens. Rude Awakening, though, MVP of that match.
My
Not only
goodness.
calling the battle, he soloed a 416, 2178,
Yeah.
and a WZ-131. I know a lot of people hate on that tank. Well, there you go. That's why it's great. And E63M6
Just be Sublime and in.
also delivering. Meanwhile, for Noble, Akula getting in a large number of shots.
Wow.
Both 416s doing okay. Everybody else faltering. In fact, perhaps this is coming back. Canadian Impact, Militant, not so great in the overall. And I feel like the biggest mistake of the entire match.
Can I guess?
Out of a number, sure.
Was it Noble not having those two 416s in the back?
Well, okay, I'll give you that. That's a huge
Hey,
mistake.
Sweet.
That's a huge mistake in some ways.
Right.
Based
what was
on what
yours?
Refuse did, because if they had Refuse had pushed that with two 416s,
Done.
Oh, God, it would have been bad.
Right.
Mine was Noble had a moment where Canadian Impact was alone on hill. They could have
Okay.
pushed on him and taken him out,
Huh.
and the only option he would have had was to come down. And if
You're
he's left up
punish
there,
him
he
there.
will win the game. They had to do something to distract him or take him out of the
They
fight
just
because
didn't do
he
it.
killed one of the IS-3s that brought everything crashing down.
That's right.
And I got to pick on it a little bit more. Memory Leak seriously fumbling that fight with a 416 and
All
leaving
right.
Drogon to handle it by himself, and that made the match much closer than it could have been.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Refuse picked up that victory, and like David said, can't even describe how much of a needed victory that was. We're into the next battle, same size as last time on mine, so let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks, because I can't wait to see who wins.
Refuse Gaming trying to pick up their second offensive win and tie this up with two IS-3s, three T-54 lightweights, an LTTB and a WZ-131. Noble with an IS-3, five T-54 lightweights, and a T-37.
All right, looks like we might have a little bit of a hill battle going out for this map of mines. Up on top, Milton pushing extremely aggressive in that T-34 or T-54, but no Refuse is ready and waiting. The shots going out to X-Soldier, actually squeaking on by 518 points of damage there going out into his T-54, but he does make it on top, but he is just one man. Milton looks like he really wants to make it. but Refuse Gaming is just not going to let him. And now,
Canadian Impact has
is here.
arrived.
This happened last time. Let's see if he can do it again. The first shot onto Drogon, 648 points of damage there in his T-54 lightweight. Looks like he might be actually bailing off the hill already. Maybe Refuse Gaming did watch the first match. They said, hey, once Canadian Impact gets there in that ISU, we got to go.
Well, that's honestly very largely basic hill play at this time. Basic Mines hill play. When an IS-3 gets there, oof,
get out.
Unless you light him up
Get
the first
out.
shot, you need to go. Go and flex 1-2 for the most part, because then you can get the rear shots, but you got to make sure you don't sacrifice your guys in the middle like Cool Hammer and Sublime Banana, who are definitely trapped, and it's going to get real bad for Noble, or sorry, for Refuse,
man.
unless Noble makes big mistakes here.
Here we go, Refuse Gaming now collapsing down upon Sublime Banana and Cool Hammer. Over 1,100 points of damage in that IS-3. One more shot, he will go down. Looks like the shot from Marsh actually missed, which allowed Cool Hammer to pick up a kill. That is great for Refuse Gaming, and the hill battle continues to go. Germ then picks up Cool Hammer there. In response, Canadian Impact finding Sublime Banana in that IS-3, and he's continuing that domination as he takes a shot into KT. X-Soldier pushing aggressively with his T-54. Middleton going through. Canadian Impact finds KT. KT again going down very early in the fight, but Drogon waiting. Back-to-back kills. Taking down Dodo. It is now a 4-on-4, tying it up. Noble versus Refuse, but the HP is in favor of Noble. Germ, though, trying to make sure that is not the case. Getting a nice shot on the Rude Awakening there. Memory Leak, and that LTTB has done a nice little flank there. It is now an LTTB against Akula, but Memory Leak, one more shot, and he will go down. Let's see how Refuse can respond. 600 points of HP. They are now the deficit continuing as Akula picks up Memory Leak. My goodness, E63 finds X-Shoulder, Drogon finding Milton. They're trying to turn this around. They're trying to tie it up 3-3 onto Mines, and it looks like they're gonna be able to do it. 3 tanks now versus 1. It is just Akula who remains. He is on top of the hill. He has nowhere to go. Dodo pressuring him, pushing up on top, taking 252 points of damage in his T-54. E63 is extremely low, though. He only has 1 HP, David. 1.
Oh, I see that. All of these guys are one shot and one critical bounce from Akula. 289 coming out of E63 on its M6 on Akula. Drogon closing the gap, being covered by Rude and E63, but he is open for one moment. E63 coming on the other side, and this is looking good for Refuse, tying it up against Noble in the craziest fight we've seen on Hill, on Mines today.
Absolutely.
That should not have
Back
gone to
and
Refuse.
forth.
It shouldn't have gone to Refuse at all.
Canadian Impact was there.
I don't even know.
Impact was
I don't
there.
know how they played their way out of one of the worst
My
positions you could be
goodness.
in. They got flanked with the IS-3s in a spot that I consider death at all.
Right.
And
They're like, yeah,
just-
we'll shake that off.
Nope,
That's
just play
fine.
their way right out of it, like I've said a number of times. I
Man.
believe they have the highest player skill in the league.
Fan-
And that was the time that they really
where it
showed
showed.
it. We are
Absolutely.
going to statistics now.
Guys, we're doing it, okay?
E63M6, who are you? Are you even human?
Oh
11
my
penetrations,
gosh.
28-62. It's absurd. It's absurd how good he is.
Mm.
He could very easily be the most consistent and best player in the league. Timeout for Noble.
Yeah.
And do they need it ever?
Oh, man.
They're now on offense. Anyways, Drogon, 1686. Rude Awakening again. The WZ 131, 1619.
My gosh.
I'm going to put an answer in Cool Hammer's mouth. Who's the MVP of your team? Rude Awakening. He's doing ridiculous damage in a
Not
tier
Sublime
7
Banana
battle
right
calling.
now.
How do you scoff at that? Germ. How are the battle callers doing the best here? Germ 2070
It's playoffs,
while
man.
calling in
It's playoffs.
T54.
That's what
It's
happens.
like Germ hasn't been particularly great all season. In
Mm.
fact, I picked on him a number of times. And then today, all of a sudden, he's just good. He's good again. And
You know what?
don't get me
David?
wrong. Throughout past seasons, I've seen him play, and he was always a great player.
Hmm.
I never thought he was bad. But he's apparently calling and playing was a little bit too much for him
Just too
throughout
much
the
for him.
regular season.
Sure.
But he's got it sorted. He's got it sorted now.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I found out how to do it just in time for the playoffs. But
Either way,
my goodness, tying it up there. Refuse now 3-3.
repeatedly now, E63, Drogon, and Rude
Top.
doing top three,
Yeah.
top three repeatedly.
That
Perhaps showing a little bit of the stress that some of the other people go through. KT has not been performing the way he usually does.
no.
Sublime Banana is typically the guy who gets the standoff and he gets to farm damage.
Right.
Spirit of the team, and he was pretty good last time.
Refuse also taking a timeout. That's a double timeout there. Both the timeouts used, so this is going to be this is the break that both teams extremely needed. Now they have a
Yeah.
lot of time to
Neither
think
of,
about this.
Neither of these are just simple bathroom breaks. These
No,
are
they
hardcore
need
strategy
this.
breaks.
They need this.
And both teams need the full time, honestly, because it's down to the wire. You're playing for $40,000 right now.
Minimum. 40,000 minimum.
Minimum. And a trip. A trip to come here and play, which is the first time. And first time many of these people, especially on Refuse, have ever played live.
Huh.
A lot of them, former top-tier players, haven't really been around. I know E63's played, Rude Awakening has played.
Okay.
In fact, Rude's been around forever.
Okay.
But anyways, for Noble, it's almost the whole list.
Wow.
I mean, Dotaba, Militant, Germs played live. It's so many comps. So many of them have played consistently live.
A lot of experience.
Meanwhile, Refuse is struggling a little bit here and there, but they have some other players stepping up and just doing work.
My goodness.
E63. I just can't.
Who are you?
How do you play so consistently? The only other person who I've seen snipe that accurately was Soviet on my team a long time ago, and this is largely because he had a ping that was sub 10 milliseconds. So it's like we wouldn't even give him credit for it. He was like, Soviet shot 9 for 9. We're like, good, Soviet, you better. We're playing over here with 60 to 100. You better hit
9.
Yeah, but I don't know what E63 plays with, but that's
E63 is sitting in Wargaming's office playing on Ute's computer right now. I mean, that's how he's getting so consistent amounts of
Actually,
damage.
that would be worse. The server's at DC. He'd be getting over 100.
Never mind.
I think it's in DC. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So consistent, so accurate, and it's just a clutch player. 2 kills coming out for all 3 of those guys. Rude, Drogon, E63. Huge. And this is what really starts teams going on tilt. And Noble's biggest challenge here is not just strategy. It's keeping it together. Now they're starting to feel pressure. They had an advantage. They lost it.
Right.
And it's starting to come back, and that's the terrible position to be in.
Well, we were talking about how you were saying when you were in that position where it's like, oh, we have plenty of victories. They won 1. Oh, yeah, they might come back. They won 2. Uh-oh. And they tied it up.
And that one?
Oh, no.
That one was in the palm of their hand.
Oh,
and it slipped
that's
through.
even
And
worse.
that is the most soul-destroying, morale-crushing situation you could be in. So let's see if they can bring it back.
That's right,
on
ladies
offense.
and gentlemen. Timeouts are done, so it's just going to be battle after battle until the victor is decided for the second spot in the finals. On to Mines. We've switched side. Refuse on defense now. Noble on the offense. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks, because I just can't wait anymore.
Refuse. 2 IS-3s, 3 T-54 lightweights, an LTTB and a WZ-131 on defense. Noble on offense with a T-32, 5 T-54 lightweights and a T-37. Can they play the fast, aggressive game they need to in order to take advantage of the tanks that they brought and bully Refuse off of the defensive line and convert this into a win? Or they get shut down and stuffed going to Hill. 354 is going out right for it. Let's see what Refuse has.
Here we go. Militant actually pumping the brakes. Soldier not, though. He is going right for it. Lots of shots going. Actually, nothing connecting for Refuse. Finally, 264 points of damage there going into that T-54, but not a lot of punishment done to Noble, and they have taken the hill there. That is a huge victory.
It's a consistent strategy we see Noble do, and it's a small tactic is what I call it, versus strategy. Tactic is a smaller scale, little thing, how you do something in particular as a part of an overall strategy. Militant pokes. The first thing it gets there, pokes, baits some shot out, and everybody else goes full speed right past.
Right,
In that instance, Refuse didn't even buy it. They waited.
Uh-oh.
The problem is their shots just didn't penetrate. Memory League going down to Marsh.
Marsh and Germ double teaming that one tank. Refuse Gaming losing a tank already at 5 minutes 45 seconds. Now they're just going to push the hill. They know it's technically a 5-on-5 before Akula and Germ get there. Marshall in the back, the T-37 sniping his way out. E63 taking a lot of damage there. He is tracked as well. One more shot will go down. X-Soldier picking that one up. Noble Gaming looks like they might be able to claw their way back and take this one. Finally, removing that tiebreaker and getting the lead again. Drogon picking up Canadian Impact. Milton finding Rude Awakening. It is now 3 tanks for Refuse against the 6 of Noble Gaming. They have definitely shown that they are here to play. They have taken this match definitely with a firm grip in their hands. Cool Hammer goes down to X-Soldier. Sublime Banana will be going down. Oh man, Noble Gaming has got to be feeling so good right now. Just finding that victory. They were losing a couple. They pushed the hill very aggressively, and they won in a head-to-head battle. And that's got to be a morale booster right there. I was just going to ask before I started, I was like, hey, if you were Noble right now, would you do what Elevate did and just push the hill and try to get your morale back up? Obviously, that's exactly what they did.
It's a huge gamble.
And it worked for them.
It's a huge gamble. Like we've discussed, they have to play the hill fight against Refuse, or Refuse is going to manipulate them.
Yeah.
Now, Refuse took a jump, almost the same thing that happened with High Voltage. But hold on. We'll get back into the strategic discussion. Let's go to statistics.
Okay.
Because again, that was an all-out brawl. It's always worth
Crazy.
showing it after a brawl. Militant, 19-25. Dodema right behind with 1596. Ex-Soldier, even though he got fairly lit up, 1405. Akula, 1251. And Canadian Impact got pretty much lit up in the T32. But his position was difficult. That's how he had to play it.
Sure.
And everybody else really hitting their shots and making them count. Meanwhile, Refuse
Wow,
clearly
there it is. Absolutely.
just not getting shots
Yeah.
in. And so what I was getting at was High Voltage did a feint on Elevate where they went into the east with a 54 and then Elevate pushed over the middle and it was a trap.
Right.
There was 2 54s in the east and Refuse jumped on what they thought was an overmatch, but the 54s got back in time and Refuse's the way they approached it, the way they tried to capitalize on it,
Yeah.
was just bad
Okay.
because there were already tanks on the top of the hill. You can't really win once they're up there.
Okay.
Not with an overwhelming force. You would have been better off bullying with the IS-3s, for example.
Sure.
Baiting out shots with the 54, bullying with the IS-3s. It's almost
poor
impossible
approach.
problem to solve. It'd almost be better just to back off and let him have the hill and try and do something else. But didn't look like they were willing to give it up. And now
Man.
Refuses on the ropes to bring it
That
back
is
and tie it,
right.
or they lose
They lose.
completely.
They got the bye. They might lose it right now because Noble just needs one more victory, and they will be our second team to make it into finals and guarantee at least $40,000 for themselves. Let's see if they can do it, or if Refuse Gaming can tie it up. Get right into this and take a look at what we've got for our tanks. David, pinch me.
Refuse on defense. IS-3, 5 T-54 lightweights and MT-25. Noble on offense with a T-32, 5 T-54 lightweights and a T-37. Like we said before, head-to-head of the best Tier 8 heavies on each side with 5 T-54s and your scout of choice, your scout du jour. And we shall see who can win in a head-to-head hill fight. Well, we would have if Noble chose to do it again, but they didn't, which is questionable. Because Refuse can easily play this out.
Oh, wow. Here we go. Rude Awakening, though, going way too aggressive. He is getting lit up. One more shot. He's going to go down, and that's a tank already falling for the side of Refuse Gaming. What in the world was that?
I don't have an answer for you. Noble doing a nice little standoff play, surrendering hill, just trying to get some damage out of it. They will then push the 1-2. Refuse has to shut that down. They have to rotate into the K4, K5 area as quickly as possible and get some shots on Militant and whoever else wants to cross. But if they do not get the K line under control, it'll trickle into Noble's hands over and over and over again. And the only thing they can do is push into a terrible position and play their way out of it in some sort of magical comeback.
Oh, man.
Like they did already.
Right. We've seen before. But this is looking better and better for Noble. Cap pressure now being applied there. Dodos sitting off top with Marsh onto the lighthouse, leaving, it looks like, Ex-Soldier to apply. No, not Ex-Soldier. It is Germ applying that cap pressure in his T-54. Down to 80 seconds again. Plenty of time for Refuse Gaming to kind of collect themselves, find a strategy that's going to work in the situation. But again, they can't spend too much time because time is not on their side. And Refuse Gaming throwing Marsh and Germ. So 30 seconds on the cap. Now really forcing Refuse Gaming, not even giving him, or giving Refuse Gaming that time to think. They just need to do. Sublime Banana poking on top, and we know it's a very dangerous position for an IS-3 to be in. Terrible gun depression means that he has to be very exposed to get a single shot. 18 seconds are on the clock. Noble Gaming, if they're not contested, they're going to take this victory. The shot for Sublime Banana actually missing. That might be absolutely what Noble was looking for. Drogon Pro now forced to come around the side. 6 seconds left. If his shot misses too, this is not going to be good. Finally, Sublime Banana's shot does connect there onto Germ. 30 seconds now on the clock, but they have forced Refuse Gaming into some very tricky situations. Memory Leak now taking 542 points of damage back in that T-54. Canadian Impact firing those shots against Akula, and Memory League one more shot and he should go down there. Martian Germ continuing to apply that cap pressure. Memory League going down, and David, I kind of want to change my question of the day answer to being High Voltage and Noble are going to be the ones to make it to the finals, because it looks like if this continues, Noble will pick up their 5th and final victory, closing out this match of the night. 3 more seconds are on the clock. They need to find a reset, but Refuse Gaming just isn't taking it. Finally, they get Mars just in the nick of time there. Akula and Canadian Impact, though, coming up on top of the hill. Marsh and Germ know they've taken too much damage. Drogon picking up that T-54, the T-37 from that T-54 back in that good position that we've seen in that K5 area. Now Akula and Canadian Impact pushing the hill. They're going to find KT. KT going down. It is now a 6-on-4 in favor of Noble Gaming. Noble still up 2,000 points of HP. And I just don't see how Refuse Gaming can come back from this.
They've come back from worse, let me tell you. Akula still having us hit points to lead off the push. Not something he's typically known for doing, but if he gets in there and lets the rest of Noble collapse on him, lets the rest of Noble collapse on this position that Refuse Gaming has, they can seal it up and get it done. However, they may take a ton of damage doing it, and it looks like they're still trying to pick their moment, find their exact vector of attack, perhaps just putting on cap pressure again, this time with 3. And that would be a very good call, as all these tanks are too low to continuously poke on them, as they have a nearly over 2,000 damage or HP advantage. There's plenty to exploit in that. Drogon Pro still holds a lot of the match in his hands. And if anybody comes over the middle into a position, Drogon can help clean that up. This is on a number of the best players on Refuse right now to clean this up. Cool Hammer, Sublime Banana, X-Soldier. X-Soldier in the open.
Oh,
Sublime
no!
Banana goes down to Militant.
Militant picking up and a huge victory there for Noble Gaming, and now they should be able to find these own match when they can. Cool Hammer taking a punishment on top of the hill there from 2 tanks from Noble. He is now down to 126 points of HP. No, he's dead. Akula picking up Cool Hammer, and Noble Gaming looks like they're going to find this victory. They're going to find the match, and they're going to find themselves a seat in the finals for the Season 1 Gold League, and too well of a victory it has been for Noble Gaming. Refuse just not showing up, just not turning up, maybe underestimating Noble, which was a huge mistake for him. There it is, X-Soldier picking up that victory, and Noble has won. Germ killing X-Soldier out of complete excitement, but ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Noble has made it our second team, along with High Voltage, to go to the finals at a chance of $75,000 here in Los Angeles, California. But they at least guarantee themselves 40 grand. What an amazing set of matches tonight.
Congratulations to our finalists.
That's right.
And I look forward to meeting everybody and seeing them play live, which is going to be absolutely intense. If Noble can keep this up, High Voltage may have a game on their hands.
That's true. Now, David, if any of you guys, by the way, missed anything tonight, let me quickly go over what you guys might have missed. First, we had match number 1. It was Elevate versus Simp. Elevate came with a miracle victory, 5-4, followed by Noble versus 07. Noble picked that one up 5-3. Third, we had High Voltage versus Elevate, 5-2. And finally, Refuse losing to Noble right there, 3-5. Again, securing our finalists, which are High Voltage and Noble. The bracket is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, let's pull that up for you guys so you can see just how this live finals is going to go. High Voltage and Noble. David, we were both wrong. We were both wrong. We thought it was going to be High Voltage.
I think a lot of people were wrong,
Noble.
Honestly.
Well done. Thank you so much for just showing that, you guys have made it to these quarterfinals, for these playoffs for a reason. Definitely improving that victory there. Just an amazing night. David, out of the 4 matches that we saw, what was the highlight for you?
Elevate versus High Voltage. Man. No questions asked.
No question
that
at
was
all.
Insane. Just the whole set was insane.
Absolutely. And even Elevate tonight, even from their first match, coming back, winning 5 games in a row against Simp, when Simp just needed 1 more. Elevate really showing up. Again, they didn't win, but fantastic plays. But again, congratulations to our finalists. Again, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be October 3rd here in Los Angeles, California, where the winner will be taking home $75,000. We're flying him out. It's going to be live, and that is going to be High Voltage versus Noble. Mark it on your calendar. Mark it on your Google Maps. Mark it everywhere that you possibly can, because you are not going to want to miss this. David, any final words before we close out the night?
Not a whole lot, aside from I'll be seeing Militant and Dotema again soon. Looking forward to it, boys. But overall, great matches from everybody who participated.
Absolutely.
I hope everybody comes back and plays just as hard next season and learns from the mistakes they made, gets now with the experience under their belt, can put on an even better show than we just had.
Well said, David. Well said, indeed. I can't wait to see all you guys as well and give each of you a hug. It's going to be so great. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everyone here at the WGLNA, that has been David Williams. I am Christian Toma, and as always, thanks for stopping by. We're going to miss you. I'm going to miss you guys. See you in a month.
Seriously.
Seriously.